Hi, this is Chris and Jakub from PagePro. Today we're going to tell you how to migrate to Next.js and Sanity without losing your SEO. This video is useful for technical and marketing teams that cannot afford to lose SEO. Jakub, so let's start with a question. What could go wrong that kills SEO during the migration? What is your top 5?
Everything can go wrong, but the top 5 would be like when our developers are going on vacation during the
Ooh,
sprint. That breaks all
that's
of the
tough.
plans. But yeah, in terms of things that we can have good impact on, it will be like the missing content or the content gaps is the most often like the issue. The lack of redirects on incorrect redirects, which cause the people who have bookmarked pages are not visiting the correct pages. The bad core web vitals performance, so we have lower ranking in our Google Search Console and other things. Missing assets, it's also very common, so people will not see your images, for example. And the final one would be the missing tags, the metadata, like the titles, descriptions, OG data, keywords, canonical URLs, and other things like that. The very tiny things, but they matter a lot.
Okay, cool. I think this is a complete list, but I can add one more thing that I noticed. Maybe it's not super common, but last week I had a call with a company that is migrating to Next.js and Sanity, but they're not doing very well. So they ask you for support, and I noticed that their staging environment was indexed in Google. So. This also might go wrong. So you have staging or dev environment, please make sure it's password protected, IP protected, or you have turned off indexing options. Okay, so now we know several things that can go wrong, but there is a good news that we have very well prepared process that will help you to migrate to Next.js and Sanity without losing the traffic and your rankings. So our process contains 5 steps. First is intro call. So this is the step where we are investigating the project and client needs. Second is technical plan and estimation. The third step is actual migration. Fourth is UAT. And fifth step is about release and post-release support. So we're going to walk you through the whole process. And I'm going to start with the first step. The first step is intro call. Intro call is a meeting where I'm asking a bunch of questions to understand the client needs, project objectives, and also to check if we are a good fit and if our technology stack is a good tool set for the project. So I'm usually starting with asking a question: why do you want to migrate from your old platform to Next.js and Sanity? And clients have different reasons, but I have 3 common reasons that are the most popular. So the first one is, Jakub, if you could guess what is the first reason why people are migrating to Next.js and Sanity?
The limitations of current system.
Yes, I have it on the third place, but the most common and the item that currently is in every brief of website migration, of new website creation, is about the performance. So usually clients want to migrate to Next.js and Sanity because they have very slow loading times, they have bad core web vitals, especially in mobile, and they want to have more performant website because they also believe that performance means higher conversions and also better rankings. So this is the first issue. The second issue is flexibility limitations. So for example, there is a content team and they cannot fully edit the website because they need some dev support to do that. The third part is they and this is what you mentioned, so they're outgrowing the current platform. So for example, they have some older platform, they cannot update it, then they cannot maintain list of plugins or dependencies, and they want to add new features, but whole time and budget is eaten by maintenance, bug fixing, and maintaining the technical depth instead of developing new features. So that are the main three issues why people are going to Next.js and Sanity. Jakub, maybe you have some technical other reasons why people want to migrate to Next.js and Sanity.
If one, it's a mix of technical and business one, that people have a long time of deployment. I'm not sure how to call it in a business language, but if someone updates the content, they need to wait like half a day until the content is on the published page. So that may be one of those.
Yeah. So that's a very good point. So this is about limiting editing experience, and also very common issue is that they might lack of the preview. But this is the reason why they choose Sanity with live preview, and also why they're using some headless CMS. Okay, so when I'm taking the requirements and setting up project objectives, at this stage, we also set up some KPIs. So for example, we want to increase our performance, but what does it mean? So we're setting a bunch of KPIs, like for example, we want our ENP to go below 100 milliseconds. So we're trying to be very strict to make sure that we are going to deliver that by the end of the project. And also, this is a time where we are making a decision if Next.js and Sanity is a good choice, because maybe you have different requirements. So we are currently speaking with a client who might require us to have self-hosted CMS. So for this kind of projects, Sanity is not a choice. Okay, so we have the project objectives. We also confirmed that Next.js and Sanity is a good technology stack. Then we are checking the migration scope. So when you're migrating to new platform, this is a very good time to do design refresh. So maybe you want to have some brand refreshment. Maybe this is also the time that you want to revisit your logo, your colors, brand assets. So this is So this is the time to check that. You also can migrate to new platform without changing your designs, but it usually means that we need to recreate the front-end code anyway. So maybe we can create this front-end code with your new and refreshed design. In the scope, we're also checking the content structure. This might be also the time when you want to restructure your content. So for example, maybe you have some content types that you are not using anymore, and you want to merge it because now your content marketing strategy is a bit different that you had when you started your website like 5 years ago. So we are checking if your current content structure makes sense and also is future proof. So you won't need to change it in next 5 years. We're checking list of functionalities that we need to implement. Currently we're speaking with a client who needs some custom form builder. So also on this call, I'm trying to get all kind of requirements and needs for the project to set up a good base for Jakub to do the estimation. So we have the objectives, we have the project scope. Then I'm working off the call to understand the content structure. If client provide me some materials, that's fine. If not, I'm using tools like Ahrefs, Google Search Console, Google Analytics to investigate what pages have the biggest traffic and what pages we need to migrate and how to structure everything. And I think this is a very important step because, for example, a few weeks ago, we had a redesign project, and I found in Ahrefs that most of MQLs are generated on a specific landing page with an ebook download, and this page wasn't included in the designs. So it was skipped in the navigation and also in the designs. So after the migration, client might notice that there's 80% drop of MQLs. So it's not just about the traffic, but this is also the time to double check your structure. Yeah, I think that's it from content audit part. Jakub, when you're helping me to understand the content structure, what you are looking for? What kind of tools are you using, or anything that might help our viewers?
Yeah, so I always take closer look into the rich text because that's something that is very like in most scenarios it's much more, it requires much more features than the default one. So we need to enhance the Sanity rich text to contain some extra fields like images, videos, maybe tables, or some extra stuff that needs to be used as a content. That's one of the things that I'm specifically looking at. I also always check for the relations, if the relations are well structured and if they are really necessary, or maybe we can flatten the structure. And also the multi-languages. I always check if they use a lot of, multiple languages or just one, and if they are planning to add new languages, so we can adapt that at the early stages, because then it's easier. So yeah, that's the top 3 things, I believe.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me this part about content relationships. I think this is very important, and this also impacts the whole website structure and also SEO strategy, because the next part on this discovery call is to check what keywords you're targeting, what markets you're targeting, what are your highest traffic pages, landing pages, like I mentioned. So we are also checking the SEO strategy, and also we're giving you some feedback that maybe this is a old practice, and now you need to implement some new practices, because also part of the all of our projects right now is also optimization for AI overviews and search AI tools for searching, like Perplexity and ChatGPT. Okay, so the call is almost over. So I have the project objectives, I have the scope of work, I have the content audit, I have SEO strategy, and everything I got from the client, I'm putting in a document. We call it project charter. So project charter is a document that contains objectives. So why we're migrating, what are the expectations, what are the KPIs for the project, what is your budget, what is our estimation, our rough estimation, because even on the first call, we can tell you, okay, based on our experience, we think this project might take like 4 months and cost X amount of pounds. There is a migration scope and content structure for the project. And I think that's it. So I'm having a call with a client. I'm preparing the project charter. I'm doing some double verification with the client if everything that I noted is correct, and then I'm moving project charter to Jakub. And Jakub, what is the most important part of project charter for you that helps you to do a proper estimation?
So everything is important. There's nothing that doesn't matter in this charter. But the things that I looking closer to is is the scope. It's the thing that matters the most for me to correctly estimate and plan the project. And I always check if this charter contains some information about the dates, the timelines. That's mostly from the curiosity, how clients think the migration. How they estimate the effort of this estimation, and they almost every time they underestimate it, and they think that we can do it in 1 month, and it's like a job for at least 2-3 months, let's say.
Yes, often our clients have some hard deadlines. For example, some company event or a conference. So we also have this in the product charter, and then we can decide, okay, this can take a bit longer, or we need to deploy a bigger team for the project. It's not possible in every case, because there are many situations that you just need to have some more time to think, and also in many situations client is a bottleneck, because client needs some more time to add content, provide feedback, and then do UAT. Okay, but let's close this part for a second. So intro call is over. You have the project charter. You see that everything is well prepared and everything is important, and I'm very happy that I did a good job with the client. And now, Jakub, you are taking over, and you're working on technical plan and estimation. So how it looks like, what part it contains, and what is the outcome of this step?
Firstly, we are checking the technical things. We are making sure that all of the hard limits will be fulfilled. So let's say that Sanity has some hard limits for the amount of documents, for the amount of API requests per user, or the history duration. Yeah. So we are checking if those things are within the scope. So if we can use the Sanity for sure. We're just analyzing the platforms that we're going, and if we are 100% sure we can use them. You pointed out a very interesting thing, like one of the clients wanted us to choose a solution which will be self-hosted, and that was unfortunately revealed after some initial investigation. So all of our plan was moved to the bin, to the trash. So we then after those platform analysis, I'm looking closely to the structuring, how we can structure the schemas, the data in Sanity, so to make the most efficient way of the recreation and not lose any important data. Those two things are the most one. Then we are checking if we are require any extra integrations with third-party systems, and make sure that we can implement those things like Stripe payments or some HubSpot forms, things like that. We need to make sure that we can embed the forms in our application, or add some option to minimal editor experience in Sanity for those tools, like even pasting the HubSpot form ID to handle the forms and things like that. And then we're moving to the planning. Then we're planning how we will structure our Next.js application, or which routes we will need, how many routes we will need, how many endpoints and which endpoints we will use, and for what. Then we're performing the initial Sanity model designing after our initial structure mapping. And then we're thinking about migrations, which things we need to migrate first to be able to migrate some things later, like assets needs to be uploaded first, then we need to reference them in some documents. So there's some minor things that matters. But yeah, the order of the things that we are performing matters. We also point out some possible risks. So if we know that something is risky, we point that out. We try to find out how to mitigate this risk, if it's possible. If not, then we are doing some more research about how to do that, or maybe we've switched the way how we want to perform that. So yeah, I think those are the first things. Did I miss anything, Chris?
I think this is good. When you mentioned assets migration, there is also a small thing, but very important thing that, for example, if you have your, for example, images in your blog posts, you also want to migrate alt texts, stuff like that, and this is frequently forgotten during the migration because people are just taking the title description, but you also have some data in assets, in images, in the tables. I think tables migration also is also might be pretty tricky if you have some advanced filtering, sorting, stuff like that. And in this video, we are focusing on the things that are impacting SEO. So we are focused on technical SEO. So I think you mentioned everything right now, but yeah, what do you need from the client to have a good technical plan? Because you have perfectly written project charter, but yeah, maybe this is not enough.
Yeah, I should probably mention that at the beginning, because to correctly perform this migration, we need some extra initial step that we need from client. So we need some database dumps, maybe not full data, but some partial dump that we can get, or there's like the CSV export, any format that they can perform. But we need that to make sure that all of the data that is within the database is rendered on the page, because we have some situations before where the data from database was also transformed by PHP code, and the things that were in the database were not the ones that were present on the web. So we had to know about such things. So we need these dumps. We compare the data from the database with data from the web page content, and then we know if there is any extra steps, any extra transformations of this data for before rendering that. So yeah, that's one. Yeah, you want to?
Yes, this is a very great example because we must remember that in with Next.js, Sanity or headless CMS might be not the only data source. So you have a Next.js frontend, but you have different data sources. So also on the initial steps, we are verifying where is your data coming from, because maybe it's going from e-commerce, maybe it's going from PM system, maybe it's going from your internal APIs. So yeah, this is also very important to cover here. Okay, yeah. So do you have anything else in the technical plan? If not, what are the outcomes of this stage?
So I just wanted to point out that from those things, we are creating the estimation. The estimation then is split. I mean, the estimation is based on some main core tasks that we want to do. We also, in this stage, if we know how many developers will work on the project, we can perform a timeline. And the project is like split into the phases. So we have, in most cases, we have like 3 or 4 phases, and that's included in the timeline. Then it's discussed with the client, and we are ready to go if we have a green light.
Okay, so when you provide me the estimation, usually I'm always double checking it and I'm making sure that this is a good estimation. So if I see something that might be decreased a bit. I'm trying to push because I want to have the project done very quickly and efficiently. And I also want us to use our previous expertise. So we have our own starter, our own boilerplate that helps us to perform the projects quicker. So I'm checking the estimation. We usually have some feedback rounds, and then I'm sending to the client as a proposal, and then usually in 80% we are getting a green light, and the migration starts. Yeah, so please explain how the migration process looks like, what are the main stages, and what is the outcome of it.
Okay, so the development phase is also, as I mentioned before, is split into phases, but it always starts from the same. We need to set up the project, set up some core functionality. So we start from the Next.js core. As you mentioned, we are using our starter to do that. It just includes all of the things that we are repeating in every project, like setting up some Sanity preview system, setting up some default schemas, adding some default plugins, creating the default page for Next.js, etc. And that's the initial phase. This we also need to decide if the clients needs the SSR or SSG, and for which pages they need that. SSR and SSG is the way of rendering the content in Next.js, so it's either built during the build time or it's built on request. So it depends on the requirements. But at this stage, we usually have some plan of doing that. We also have some patterns we are always following for the optimizations, like using the Next.js images, using scripts. We are going with server-side first approach. So we're trying to eliminate as much client code as possible to get the best performance. And we also have some extra cursor rules included in our project. So if someone is using the AI to generate some code, it also should follow our rules. Yeah. Then we're going for Sanity setup. We need to start structuring our future content. We need to connect that with Next.js, so it fetches the data from CMS system. So yeah, this is the place where we can improve the old structure and make sure that it fits the new project, and we test that in the field. So we make sure that everything that we've planned have a good fit in the project. Then we're adding some extra plugins for a client, which were not set up by default, like extended history or internationalization. Not all of the clients needs that, but we need to set those things up. And we also, no, actually the media management is used for all of the project, and it's within our starter, so that's not extra. But yeah, those are the most important things. And if we have those two things, we are ready to start the migration. Migration is probably the hardest step here, because we need to transfer all of the content, all of the data, all of the assets. We need to make sure that all of the rich text fields are migrated correctly, so we don't have any content gaps. We need to make sure that all of the relations are correctly migrated, and the metadata tags and everything that was present in the old page needs to have some equivalent in the new page. So yeah, we have some scripts that helps us with that. For the content, it's built from project to project because all of these structures are built different. But we have some battle tested scripts that helps us with rich text migration, because some fields in rich text will always look the same in all of the projects. So we have some expertise with that, so we can use the things that we used before. For assets, we also have some extra scripts that we already used that are crawling the data and checking the relations, so we can do it in a sequence. As I mentioned, that we need to upload the assets first, then we need to link them to the content. And at the end, we need to make sure that all of the URLs have the equivalent match in the new application, new platform. So we need to make sure that all of the slacks that we generated for the new content will have the match for the old system.
You mentioned that the migration process contains Next.js development. So this is like starting the project, the architecture, then Sanity setup, and there's main focus on correct content modeling and relationships. Then there is a content migration, and I think you should now mention how we optimize SEO. So what are our techniques or main things that we do for technical SEO optimization?
So at this moment, we should have most of the SEO data already fulfilled, like the meta tags, meta titles, meta descriptions, the image alt values, the marked pages which shouldn't be indexed as no indexes, no indexed, have the canonical URLs, and all of those things set up that can be migrated from the old system. But we still need to set up, for example, the sitemap XML file. We need to generate it on the fly. So if users, if content editors will add a new content, it will also be added to sitemap. We also need the robots.txt file. That's something that probably could be similar to the one that is in the old system, because probably the rules are the same. We have some extra fields in the Sanity that can help with missing data. So we are like setting up the core functionality in Sanity, but there's always some data that is missing for the missing at the end because it was also missed in the old system. So we also have a possibility to run some script that will crawl this data and point that out. So you can have the, let's say, list of URLs that you will need to fulfill manually, or use some AI that will help you with generating this content. We also try to add the structured data for the client. It's something that can't be migrated like from the content itself, but we also need to mimic the functionality. And we also make sure that, I mean, if all of the things are migrated, we have some content fulfilled, then we can test the core vitals. And to do that correctly, the best way is to use some room functionalities, room tools that will provide you values in real time. So even if we will be doing development, we will also trigger those not tests, but those those tests, and we will have the values from real time. And also we have some lighthouse tools and other tools that will help us with generating the core web vitals results, and then we can take care about them. So we make sure that our bundles are optimized, that all of the images are optimized, all of the SEO data exists, that we don't use some old JS logic, that all of our pages are not, maybe not all, but that we use minimal amount of client's code, etc. So yeah, that's the one of the final stages of our development.
Great. One more thing that is also now in each project brief that we receive is answer engine optimization or generative engine optimization. So this is also a hard requirement right now to optimize the website for generative AI. So for example, we are implementing LLM's text file. As you mentioned, structured data is very important, like adding FAQ, type of property, organization for the website, good internal linking, And I guess also very good counter structure, because this is from everything starts. Okay, so we have Next.js set up, we have Sanity set up, we have content migrated, it's optimized for technical SEO, it's EO optimized.
Yeah, at this stage, if clients have some extra requirements for the Sanity functionality or Next.js functionality, we can now we can now develop those extra features. And in the meantime, I mean, in parallel, we can start testing the migration. So mm, we can make sure that all of the old URLs have a match in the new URLs. I forgot actually about the redirects during the migration, but that's one of the very important steps. So we need to make sure that all of the old content will have the either correct redirect or correct content on the new application. We need to make sure that all of the functionalities remain functional, and the performance, which I mentioned, it's matching our the things that we put in our offer. So the KPIs, as you mentioned.
Yes, and you also mentioned a good example or reason why good testing strategy is important, because when we are testing, like content verification or redirects verification, so even you forgot that on the development stage, you will have it alarmed and noticed on the testing stage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the development is over from our side. The website is working. We are sure that everything is fine. And then there is a fourth step, and this is about UAT. Jakob, so what this stage is about, and also what is the client role during this phase?
Mm-hmm. So the UAT is actually the most important step after the migration, because it will validate if we can like launch our product. And the client role is probably to test the content, depending on if the client has some agency, contribute some agency that can help with CEO, for example, it's a good place to use them, as they can generate a good reports. We have in one of our projects, we have a client that was working with some SEO agency, and the report they generated was probably at better quality than the ones that we are doing internally, because they default company purpose is to serve, to help with SEO, so they have some extra tips, extra tools that can verify those things. Like, for example, we didn't check the orphan pages, and they listed all of the orphan pages for us. That's one of the things that we didn't that we missed during the testing. So yeah, using the agency is a very good fit here. But otherwise, client can do some manual tests of like the most critical pages or something like that. We can decide together the scope for the client, like which pages they should check, or which in most scenario it's like we find the page with the most of the content that will get like the most elements that we've migrated. Let's say the rich text with all of the possibilities, to check if all of them looks good on the page and if they are happy with the results. And that's a lot of help if clients will help. If not, then we are doing our UAT phase, which in which we need to make sure that all of the URLs from the old site have a correct mapping in the new website. If all of the content is matching the new page, unless it was like removed because of us, not by accident. We need to make sure that all of the SEO metadata is present. We need to make sure that all of the redirects work correctly, and we don't have any 404 pages as a result, or 500 errors. And we also made the final performance tests on more on environment more close to the production one. We also made extra step here to test the page on more devices than our internal ones. So we're testing that on, like, for the internal tests, we just use like 3 devices, like a casual mobile phone, laptop, and some bigger screen. And in the UAT phase, we use like the predefined list of devices, like 20 or more of them, to see if page looks good on all of them. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I would add to the devices that we're using the most common devices, and if anything is missing, we're using browser stack. So this is a very good tool that you can just install and have access to, I guess, hundreds of different devices, and you can check everything. One more thing to UAT stage. So this is also the stage where client can check if he has all kind of possibilities to edit data in Sanity, especially adjusting everything that he needs to make sure that the SEO is correct. So all kinds of meta tags, structured data. So this is also the part where we're supporting the client to, so when the website will be live, and if he wants to do some adjustments, he knows how to do that, where in the CMS, and how to do that quickly. So he also knows, and we can set up expectations when the content will be refreshed, for example, and when it will be deployed. Okay, so UAT is over. Client is very happy and excited that we're going to launch the new website on 4 p.m. Friday. And we usually move it to Monday morning. And there is a final stage, launch and post-release support. So Jakub, how this stage looks like, and what do you like in this stage the most?
Yeah, so you've mentioned the launches on Friday, and I just remind myself that one of the most intense and most, like, not a painful but very stressful launch. It took from like 4 p.m. at Friday until the like 4 a.m. at Saturday. So we were sitting in a group of like 5 or 6 people, and everyone was busy during this launch, and we have a lot of things to quick fix to make sure that they work. But it was worth it, because the page was launched for the Monday. It was ready for Monday. So yeah, it was the best time to do it. From client's perspective, of course, because okay, so what's the post-launch looks like? So not only post-launch, but launch. So we are present for the launch. So if we will schedule a date of the launch, we are preparing everything before. Then during the launch, we need to make sure that we've content freeze everything. We perform the final migration to the new system. That's very important. And then we can start proceeding with moving from the old system to new system. So we need to set up correct DNS and hosting options to transition from the old system to new system. We need to set up the good monitoring tools to make sure that we will be able to see all anomalies live. So things like Sentry or Datadog or Versal monitoring are very helpful. And we're performing the launch. Everyone's happy, and in this scenario, nothing breaks. But if anything breaks, we are here to quickly adapt that. In the worst scenario, we just switch back the DNS settings to have the old system back there, and we make sure that if the fix is longer, then we need to make sure that we fix that before the final release, and a client will have limited access to us after the launch. So we need to make sure that during this phase where we have increased capacity, we can do all of that we can to make sure that everything works smoothly. So yeah, we performed the launch, and then we are going to post-launch phase. So we are focusing mostly on monitoring if everything works correctly, if core vitals are great and are green, because probably the traffic is very may spike a lot during the launch, because if you announce that before, even people who are not visiting your page for some time will still come back to see how the new page looks like. So it's a good way to like predict the spikes at the beginning. So to make sure that our metrics are fine with that, and all of the performance will remain the same. We are using Vercela's hosting, so we don't have issues with like bad server performance, because it's like the serverless solutions, so they just scale up or scale down based on the traffic. Yeah, and we also track the Google Search Console on a daily basis for the first days, and then we switch to like week intervals, then 2 weeks intervals, and it's just decreased within the time if there are no issues. We also check the traffic if it's not dropping. If it's dropping, then we need to try finding out why. We also check the Sentry or other monitoring tool for errors if there is no errors for the end users. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, thank you. So looks like we migrated the website, and thanks to migrating to Next.js and Sanity, the website has some performance improvements. So everything is green in Core Vitals. You have better SEO, and you also have optimization for generative AI tools, and you also have future-proof technology stack that can help you scale and expand. So this is great. And yeah, Jakub, just to sum up, how to achieve it in like, what are your 3 or 4 key recommendations how to migrate to Next.js and Sanity without losing SEO traffic?
So probably the most important step will be the migration script, which transfers all of the data from the old system to the new system. And we just need to make sure that all of the data that was visible on the page and also not visible on the page, like meta tags and all of the important information, will be transferred. That's one of them. Before that, we need to make sure that we got all of the requirements correctly. So to make sure that we have a match with our technology stack, that we can use it and it will really increase the performance and will help client with their business. So that's the 2 things. And the third one will be the UAT phase. Correct UAT phase will be crucial. So
Thanks. I'm a bit disappointed that you skipped my beautiful project charter, but yeah. On the other hand, I love that you always think about the technical aspects, and you have list of scripts that helps you to migrate the content, check the if every URL is working. I think this is critical and very important. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching or listening. And if you're planning to migrate to Next.js and Sanity, feel free to read our blog posts. And if you want to speak about that, we can jump on a call with you and check if Next.js and Sanity is a good option for you, how much time and money it could take, and what will be the best plan for implementation. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
thank you. See you.